Welcome to the Graybeard Chronicles podcast. Your hosts, Brian Halstead and Kevin Harkins, are two gray-bearded patriots who love God, their family and friends, and their country. The Graybeards are here to inspire, inform, and educate you on a myriad of topics they are passionate about. Brian and Kevin have a strong desire to share this with you to help you live your best life. Sit back and enjoy this amazing podcast as the Graybeards pass along the wisdom of the ages.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of the Graybeard Chronicles. I'm Brian Halstead.
And I'm Kevin Harkins.
And Kevin, we're here to pass along some wisdom of the ages. What the heck does that mean?
We're not perfect, but we do have gray beards. And that means we've got some significant life experience, some life lessons, and some perspectives that are worthy of passing along.
Well, I think that sums it up nicely. Let's get to it. Kevin, what's going on, buddy?
Well, I'll tell you one thing that's not going on.
What's that?
We ain't slinging tonight.
we ain't slinging what? How do you know?
Because there's been a Plan B. Plan B.
Yeah.
Plan B is in effect.
Yeah, so we dangled that carrot out there, or Kevin did, under protest.
Under pressure.
Yeah, he didn't really want us to call it out that we had a couple of things coming up, and one of them was this conversation we were going to have tonight about sex in your 50s, and we had engaged a professional to aid us in this conversation because Kevin is afraid of having the conversation with me without adult supervision. I admit that openly without shame and certainly sharing his concern. So we...
Fair enough.
Because, in the words of my wife, I am a grown-ass 12-year-old.
There you go.
So we're not talking about sex in your 50s tonight, or at least not for the whole podcast. I mean, we might throw something in there, at some point just to make Kevin feel uncomfortable. But, we're going to have to... have that special guest on another time and take care of recording that. So tonight, we are doing something that we all need to be able to do. We need to be able to audible because things don't always happen the way that they're supposed to happen. And you may be standing there looking at something and realize that it's totally different than what you expected. Oh shit, now we should do something different. And we're in that situation tonight. It's totally different because we had a Zoom call set up and we were the only ones on the Zoom call. And it turns out our special guest had some personal business to take care of and it just didn't work out. So we are working on our Audible now. And we decided that we're just going to go with a plan B tonight. And we're just going to talk about how stuff in your life may happen like this and what you have to do to respond to it. What, some good things to do and some good things to avoid doing. I don't know. Should be an interesting conversation.
So I got two things here. The first one, great metaphor with the audible. So here's the audible. You ready?
Yes. Yes. I'm ready.
Tom Brady, he's on the line.
Seriously.
He's watching.
Had to throw that in there. I mean, he's the GOAT, so
And he's playing the Steelers, and he's reading the defense, and the play that he called wasn't going to work or isn't going to work with the defense that he's looking at. So he calls an audible, and sure enough, couple shucks and jives later, 6 points for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, headed for the Super Bowl, beating the Steelers again. There you go. He changed play just like we're changing the play right here. So that was one thing.
I was feeling good about it until you had to throw that out there. But,
I'm teasing because we have this as the regular listener knows, this ongoing banter. But yeah, we had to change up today because our guest wasn't available, and so it reminds me, though, this is very relevant as well. Many famous people have said it in very similar ways. A plan, I don't know who said it first. I would have looked it up if we had time to. Plan is only good until first contact with the enemy. And so the enemy tonight was the recording of the podcast with a guest. That guest is not an enemy. I just want to be clear about that. In fact, I'm very excited about that guest.
Yeah.
Because the things that we've had the opportunity to learn about her and have a brief discussion with her, this is going to be fun when we do this. But yeah, we had to go to Plan B. And that happens probably every single day Well, it does happen every single day, but it sometimes happens, many days in a row in my own life, and I'm sure yours as well. And you've planned your day, your activities, you've made your list, whatever you do in the morning to get ready for your day, and then something.
The universe says, nope, not going to do it like that.
Not going to do that.
We're going to make a couple changes here. We're going to move a couple pieces on the chessboard. We're doing it different today.
So what do you do when something big like that happens, though? I mean, you have a big event or something. I mean, is it different? Because these kind of things can really put you into a tailspin if you're not approaching them, I guess, with the right attitude. And I know that's happened with me. Well, how would you respond to that?
Well, actually, I'm not going to answer that question. I'm not going to answer it with how I would respond to it. I'm gonna share something that happened here recently, and
I will too.
And answer your question. So the bike night that our motorcycle club has been doing at Six Bears on the third Thursday of each month.
Right.
The one that was in August, I was out of town for, and I normally serve as kind of the MC for the event and so on. So I had put steps in play and had one of our members, Fooch, was going to step up and take care of that. Maddie often plays music, or we'll have somebody else lined up, and that particular night we had another artist lined up. And then, we often have really nice weather. None of those things seemed to work out that night, right? So the guy that was going to play had a personal emergency happen and was unable to show up, so no music. The MC was there, so Fooch was ready to go. But then the weather, got real nasty, and I know this sounds like a foreign concept to many folks, especially people I ride with, but there are some people out there that won't ride their motorcycles when it's shitty outside. I know,
be one of those.
it just it doesn't make any sense to me, but it happens. So the turnout didn't quite rise to the level that they would have hoped for it to, but they kind of regrouped and reassessed what was going on and started engaging folks that were there, and still had a productive evening and had a good time, and were able to sit back afterwards and kind of revel in their accomplishment that this could have gone to shit really bad, and we didn't let it. We still pulled together and made a halfway decent fundraising effort out of this evening, and not even halfway decent, a very decent fundraising effort for the evening. So kudos to those guys, and I've said that to them already. But that
Amen.
That's how I would answer that question.
Okay, that's a good example, and I have one as well. And this just happened earlier this week. Actually, I think it was yesterday. It's amazing how things sort of all blend together. But this has to do with my wife, Paula. She's a cycle instructor, spin instructor.
Happy birthday to Paula, by the way.
Yeah.
Now, when this actually airs, it won't be her birthday, but we're recording on her birthday.
Yep. So yesterday morning, she shows up at the, or maybe it was the day before. It doesn't matter. I'm gonna be okay.
I'm gonna totally mess you up here. I'm just, I said this to you earlier, but I'm like, you.
Plan B.
You're recording a podcast about sex in your 50s on your wife's birthday.
Yeah. That's the way it worked out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess. Yeah. Okay.
I'll be ready.
Yeah.
I'll be ready. There we go.
Yeah.
It's just a warm up.
When she forgives you for doing this on her birthday.
It's foreplay.
Yeah. Nice.
Anyway, so she shows up at the studio, and for those of you who are not familiar with cycle spin class, at least with Paula, it's a very choreographed 45-minute class where every song is chosen for a reason, the beat, the style of music, and so on, and it's choreographed. Every song is choreographed with different moves. It's not just sitting on a bike and trying to pedal to the beat. There's much more to it. She shows up and her music won't play on the system for the first time ever, and so she always shows up early. And now, after a few minutes goes by and things are not working, you're kind of in a red hot panic. Man,
right.
That's probably too strongly worded, but you are now, okay, I mean, there's got to be music. I can't just put it on my phone and play it through the cell phone speaker. It needs, because this is it's a whole studio,
Right.
And
you have to feel the music.
gotta feel it. You gotta feel the pounding. You gotta feel the vibration. And she's on.
Gotta feel the pounding. We're back on that section your 50s thing again.
She's.
This is why he does not want me unsupervised.
Exactly. Anyway, long story short, after help from several people, they were unable to get it. But they did have another 45-minute set of songs that was in the system that they could play. She'd never heard the songs. She didn't know anything about what was coming next. And she just said, I got a whole class. I mean, every bike was full. And I got to teach a class. And I got to teach it right now with no rehearsal of the songs. And she just made it up as the whole 45 minutes unfolded. And she told people that in advance, but most of them said, if you'd not said anything, I would have never known.
I'm glad you said that, and I'm glad that was the feedback, because that's what I was going to call out, is that in situations like this, what people normally do is show their cards because they're worried about it, right?
Right.
And that's not necessarily a bad thing, considering that environment, because most of those folks are, repeat attendees in her class, so they know her, they know how it normally goes, and so on. So that's kind of a safe environment to do that. But oftentimes, you'll have somebody that's doing a presentation, and they'll get up and they'll tell you all of their weaknesses, things that, just basically lay their cards out on the table. And at the end of the presentation or whatever the interaction is, most of the time, had they not showed you those cards, you would have never known any of those weaknesses. It was just their own insecurity that caused them to do that. And, in this particular case, I wouldn't say it's Paula's insecurity. I would think that it's more her respect for people that have taken her class and came there with a level of expectation, because she's a freaking beast.
Yeah,
I've taken a couple of her classes, and man, she's intense, and in a good way. I mean, you went there for a workout, and you're going to get one.
Right. Yeah. So anyway, I told her that actually the sign of a real pro is to be able to pivot like that. So again, plan B. Something doesn't go the way you planned it, so you go to plan B, and you got to own it. You got to just go with whatever plan B is, kind of like we're doing right now,
And we did tell you
to move forward, right?
We did tell you we're doing this
Right.
because it's a whole different subject matter, and because we respect you as folks that listen to this podcast and watch it on a regular basis. And yeah, that's why we're sharing it with you, and to prove the point, right? So this happens to all of us on a regular basis, and got to figure out how to do it different.
You remember the story that Dean Lee told when he was with us, and he had to give that speech.
Yeah, great example.
At was it at the press club? I don't remember where it was.
It was like a prayer breakfast
it
or
was
something.
A prayer breakfast.
Yeah.
I was referring to the location, but anyway,
I don't remember.
I mean, this is a room stuff full of congressmen and high-level executives and high-level clergy people, all of who are expecting a good show, because it's the DC National Prayer Breakfast. It happens once a year. It's a big deal. And he ended up having to go to plan B at the last second, and walked up to the microphone with no notes, without rehearsing what he was about to say, and really kind of started talking, not really sure what direction it was all going to go. And it came off, well, kind of went viral at the time. That was several years ago now, but ended up giving a speech that many, many people needed to hear, and particularly those in leadership positions within the various service command cadre, that, hey, people are people. They have personal beliefs and personal needs, and need to be met where they are. And that message really resonated with that audience in particular, and he was fine. It ended up being really quite a spectacular event. So
yeah, I think more often than not, it does turn out fine, because you're talking about high caliber people engaging in things, and they figure out how to do it if something goes south.
Right.
And I know folks that are listening to this can think back on their own lives and examples of when this has happened to them, and how they dealt with it, and how they came out on the other side of it just fine. So, I mean, this is no crisis, the fact that we don't have our guest tonight. It's a disappointment to me and Kevin, certainly, But it's also something that we know we're going to do in the future. We just got to reschedule it, and it's going to be great conversation, great content for you guys. So we have the opportunity to talk about something else tonight, and that's what we're doing.
Here's a great concept that I think all of us need to keep in mind when we go into our day, when we go into any plan, any major project. You just need to have the expectation that things are going to happen that you don't expect. Things are going to go sideways. Somebody's not going to show up. Something's going to happen. Things are going to not turn out the way you thought they were going to turn out, and you have to pivot. And if you go in with that kind of attitude, like, okay, all right, well, I thought A was going to happen, and it wasn't B, it wasn't C, it was D. Didn't see D coming. That was right out of left field. And D shows up, and then you got to figure out. And so much of it is just your attitude.
Right.
You know, if your attitude is, oh my, this is awful, this sucks, we can't do it, it's over, it's going to be horrible.
Isn't that true about anything, though, right? So, I mean, let's talk about a business strategy or a new product launch that you are engaging in, and you've mapped it out. We're going to do this, we're going to do that, we're going to do this, and so on. These are the steps. We're going to do this first, we're going to do this next, and then you get into it, and something that you totally didn't expect occurs, right? Because you've already, called out some of those potential issues and figured out ways around those, but you can't think of them all, and so you have to be able to adjust when they happen, right? The little road, potholes in the road, and you're going to hit them. That's okay. Keep on getting it. You might have to stop, make some adjustments, make some repairs from the damage that occurred, and keep on working towards the end goal, whatever that is.
So I got a question for you. Why can I not sometimes go here with a straight face? This is really true.
I don't know. I'm worried now.
So I ran into your father at the brewery the other night. I was chatting with him about you, and he was telling me a story.
Uh-oh.
He was telling me a story about how, as you were a young man growing up, that you were totally into your hair. That was a big thing to you. That you would comb it and brush it and shape it and mold it and cut it, and you ended up having to pivot at some point.
I think that's what it is. I think secretly I knew I wasn't going to have that shit forever. So I was appreciating it while I have it. I was practicing living in the moment.
Okay.
I was practicing that gratitude and that mindfulness of experiencing the possession of hair while I could.
Well, there you go. See, thanks, Larry, for that. He didn't really share that with me.
Well, he could have, because I think it's actually accurate.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, I did like my hair right up until the Marine Corps shaved it all off. I did shave my head. I shaved my head one time before that in high school.
Larry, I apologize for putting words in your mouth.
But he could very well have said that. That's completely within the realm of possibility. So you picked a good one. I got a perm.
Wow.
I got a perm when I was in high school.
Did you really?
Yeah, it was wild.
Do you know how long you can't go to take a shower after you get a perm?
No, I don't recall.
I learned this from Legally Blonde. 24.
That's right. Yes,
Yeah.
yes, because it turned out to be a very pivotal piece of information in this criminal case.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're wondering.
Everybody knows that you can't take a shower after getting a perm. It will totally ruin it.
It will totally.
She's
ruin
lying.
It. There you go.
Yeah.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
You and L. Woods. L.
Yeah.
Woods. And if you're wondering why, for some of you may be wondering why I know that, is because my daughter, when she was a little girl, loved that movie, and one of the things that we did very often was watch that movie together.
That movie came out like 2 years ago, and your daughter's how old? Seriously?
No, it
Come
didn't.
on now. No, same thing with me, watching it with my girls.
Yeah, probably.
It's a good movie, though.
It is a good movie.
I actually enjoy it.
Right, it is a good movie. So wow, a perm. I mean, what kind of this is new and different for me. Now I'm pivoting because you shared with me something that
I'll find a picture. And I'll put it on the intro on our YouTube video.
Did you? Was it?
My neighbor did it.
Was it curly? Was it wavy? How would you?
Oh, it looked like a white afro.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Very good.
Yeah.
I can't wait to see it.
Yeah. I don't know why I'm not sure if somebody talked me into that, or how exactly that happened, but yes, I ended up with one.
Okay. Wow, ladies and gentlemen, I would have I would have guessed a lot of things about Brian's childhood, but I would not have guessed perm. How old were you when you did this?
Probably like 16.
Okay. All right.
I was driving, so yeah, 16 or 17.
Okay. Did the girls like it?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
Might have been the reason I did it. I can't say for sure.
Yeah, I'm sure it had something to do with how popular you were and all that. So cool. Worked out. Oh, there you go.
Totally didn't know that it was going there, did you?
I did not. I just kind of pulled that right out of thin air, and there we go. Now I know that you were just rocking a perm when you were in high school. Okay. Yeah. I did not.
It's still a popular thing. Well, I don't know how popular it is. You've seen Anthony rocking that perm that he's got.
I have,
and it's impressive, right?
Yeah.
I mean, he's bringing that. What do they call that thing? I'm drawing a blank on that.
The mullet.
Yeah, the mullet.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah.
All business in the front and party in the back. His is like, kind of business in front and a fucking sorority house or fraternity house in the back. Yeah, it's all fucking party.
Okay. All right, so plan B. There you go. It's all about attitude. I'm trying to bring this thing back on track. It's all about expectation, managing your own expectations, and it's all about having a good attitude when you do have to pivot. And it's all about picking yourself up and keeping going, because that's what you got to do when the plan changes.
Yeah. No, you're absolutely right. And it's going to happen to all of us. And, at one time or another, and we figure out and we keep on getting it.
And there's all kind of sports metaphors that you could go into there, but because we both grew up doing that, it's easy to think of those. Some people don't like them, but, the play changes every time. You don't.
Some people don't like them, but I'm going to use another one right now.
I'm going to use another one because it works for me.
Right.
There you go.
Because if you don't like them, that's okay. They still work.
So, if there were going to be, I know that we're getting close to the end here. If there were going to be one thing that you could communicate about plan B when the plan doesn't work out, when what you've got isn't what you expected, what do you do?
Well, I think and this kind of speaks more to life in general. Don't take yourself so damn serious, and just relax and remember that you're here to have a good time, whatever it is you're doing, and just look at it from a learning perspective and an opportunity to do something different. You had a plan, shit went south, things beyond your control. It goes back to that E plus R equals O, right? So things are going to happen beyond your control. How you respond to them is going to determine the outcome. And you live life like that, and you'll find that you tend to react differently and have a much more mellow experience. Anger is getting all upset, getting all anxious. That's not fun, right? And it's not good for you physically or emotionally. Man, you just got to learn to go with the flow. Shit's gonna happen.
Yeah, that's a really good point. When I my mind is racing through a variety of times in my life where things didn't go as I planned, and I ended up having to pivot and go in another direction, and it really can stress you out. It can just ruin. Well, not just a day or a moment. I mean, it can. You think it will ruin your life.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're talking about let's just say that you're of dating age and there's a breakup. I can remember that event. Yeah. Or maybe you didn't get into college that you wanted to get into, or maybe you didn't get into the military and you wanted to, or maybe you didn't get the job that it's one thing after another. And I will guarantee you and everybody out there that sometime within the next week, and probably many times within the next week, something that you had planned, something that you had decided you were going to do, something that was on your schedule is going to change. Some of them will be big, some of them will be small. And if you just sort of go through every single day, every single moment, expecting that things are going to not turn out, and you're prepared for that, then you can just roll with it. Like you said, don't take it too seriously. Honestly, as I get older, the more and more I realize how these things that I thought were absolutely the biggest hacking deals that you can imagine.
Yeah.
In the moment, you're like, my life is over. My life is ruined. I will never recover. And suddenly, some time goes by and you realize,
you don't even think about it because it's ancient history.
Right.
And it was just a little hiccup.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we've all had that. I know I've had that.
Right.
I'm still getting over getting dumped by my girlfriend when I was in like 7th grade. No, not really. But that was, I'm not still getting over it, but that was a pretty intense experience.
But you
man.
Remember it.
Oh, fuck yeah, I remember.
Yeah.
It was not a good scenario, man. My life was pretty much done at that point, I thought.
I've been there. Been there, done that.
Yeah, I don't know if she listens to this podcast, but if she does, she'll remember.
Don't.
I'm not going to call her out.
Don't give her name. Yeah, don't give her name. Yeah.
So I can't help myself. I won't do it.
Plan B. There you go.
That's right.
Well, this was fun, actually. I enjoyed it.
Yeah, were you worried?
I did.
Were you concerned it might go another way?
No, I'm not.
Were you afraid I was going to tell a joke about the guy
this is what I
that
think.
had the problem with...
No.
I'm going to save that. I'm going to save that for the Sex in Your 50s episode.
There you go.
Yeah.
That'll fit there.
Yeah.
That may be
That's
a good...
what she said.
I'm trying hard, folks, to keep this on track. And
I have been pre-programmed for an entire week to have a conversation about sex in your 50s or any age for that matter, and I've brought I just can't put it away. It's there. It's in the forefront of my mind. I got to let some of it out. It's going to overflow.
That's right, because we do have to get this rescheduled at some point.
We do, and we will.
But before I'm not in my 50s anymore.
Well, there is a slight sense of urgency of recording this, or we'll just have to change the title.
Not that.
Well, I did put 50 plus in the title.
Okay, good. Oh, by the way, I have the title. It's I'm gonna use it when we chat. You don't know what the title is yet. I'm telling you. When you hear
for this next one,
correct.
All right, we'll have to banter back and forth and decide which the best title is.
Right.
Well, all right,
I got it. I thought of it.
All right, cool.
I'm down with it. I had an epiphany as I was driving here today.
Did it hurt?
No.
Okay.
No, I was good. Right. That's good. You're gonna like it. You're gonna think, and our guest is gonna like it.
All right.
I'm anticipating.
I'm intrigued. You have my attention.
And if she doesn't, then I'll pivot and I'll go to Plan B.
You cracked me up using that word pivot, man. It always reminds me of that joke, something about you're the pivot man and a yada yada yada. I don't remember exactly though.
It's possible that I'll never use that word again. Now that I said that.
That's why I don't use it.
You don't like it.
No, it's like what are you, the pivot man and a freaking circle jerk or some shit like that? That's that's why whenever you say it, I giggle inside, and I just had to share that. Sorry, I ruined that word for you, man.
Yeah, you did. You did. I'm going to have to think about how I'm going to handle that. Plan B, what am I going to do about this word? I may continue to use it because I know that you don't like it. Yeah, I know some people who...
Oh, I didn't say I didn't like it. It just makes me giggle, and I'm not going to use it because, it makes me think about other silly shit.
All right. Well, there you go. This has been an enlightening conversation. I've learned things about you that, I look forward to continuing that journey, but that was a good one. You and the perm.
I'm going to come up with a picture. I have a picture somewhere, and I will share it.
Excellent.
Yep.
Excellent.
I think if I remember, I'm even wearing an orange shirt. And this is like, I've got mid-perm pictures, you know? So we can have the evolution of the perm.
Ooh.
Yeah.
So you had more than one?
No.
Oh, okay.
Mid-perm, like mid-installation of the perm.
Oh, got it. Got it. Okay.
Yeah.
Huh. Wow.
But I only did it that one time. That was enough to convince me that was not necessary anymore. And then it takes like 100 years to grow out. Might be what killed my hair.
Those of you who thought you knew Bryant, now you know a little bit more. There you go.
Just peeling back the layers, man.
Peeling back the layers.
That's
there
it.
You go.
We're not going any deeper. You're done.
At least not on this podcast.
Right.
Wait till I talk to your mom. Then we're going deeper.
Yeah. Or it'll be some more shit that you make up and suck me in thinking that you're telling the fucking truth.
Man,
that was good, man. That was good how you baited me. I like it. Well done, sir. Well done.
All right, that's all I got.
All right. Well, that was cool, man. And it, hopefully you guys took something away from it. It's going to happen. And how you deal with it's going to determine what the outcome is, how you respond to it. And, what do they say? Expect the worst and, train for the best and expect the worst.
Plan, yeah.
It's going to...
Hope for the best.
Yeah, hope for the best, plan for the worst. There. Had that all fucking back
right,
ass, didn't I?
Right.
Thanks for
thanks
for saving me.
Yeah. You're welcome. Don't forget to push the button before you.
Could I have a drink of my whiskey first?
I thought you were reaching out, and then it was a pivot. No, there you go. See, it was you.
There was no pivoting going on over here,
total,
sir. I was grabbing a drink. No pivoting. All right. Well, I am now going to hit this button here, and I'm going to say this. No matter who you are, where you are, or what you're doing, whether you're operating on plan A or plan B, make sure that you incorporate time between this podcast and the next to enjoy the ride. Kevin, were you sleeping?
Please subscribe so you'll receive notification when new episodes are
No.
available. To learn more about the Graybeards, visit their website, graybeardchronicles.com.
You started late.
Sorry about that. I'll do it together again. Ready?
Yep. Enjoy the ride.
See, that was just as good, only reversed.